Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome back to Final Fantasy Chronicles of Eno. I am your host and game master, as always, Skajaramaz, otherwise known as Toneshift, and with me today we have our full cast of players. We have Hades Shadow 92 playing Thanatos, our male human Dark Knight. Almost got to darkness for some reason.
Well, I am a Knight of Darkness.
Well, yeah. We have Darkness playing Alistair, our male human paladin.
Greetings, everyone.
We have Tom117Z playing Neothil, our female Elvon ranger.
I've been stabbed with a COVID needle. I hear this is a good thing, and hopefully I won't have headaches this week.
Nice. Let's see here. Hades will be controlling the combat and role actions of Kyra Nightstar, the female human dragoon NPC party member. I'll be handling her roleplay interactions. And I'll be, just in general, controlling the other NPC party member, Mika Solwyn, our female Mithra Red Mage. So where we last left off, our intrepid band of adventurers had arrived on an island known as the Blue Tombstone in the middle of a large lake on the shores of which sat the city of Piera Oasis in search of Leviathan's water crystal of light. After marching and tramping all across the island for hours upon hours under a perpetual rainstorm with thunder booming in the distance and contending with some truly strange things, including mist dragons and a pond that made you not want to leave if you drank and failed a finesse check, they were eventually able to decipher a riddle that had been inscribed upon the side of a giant obelisk of blue crystal at the island's center, which allowed them entrance into Leviathan's crystal sanctum. After a brief discussion with Leviathan, Mika was granted the second of Leviathan's crystals and afforded the ability to summon Leviathan's Eidolon in times of peril. This moment of victory was short-lived, however, as momentarily after, the third of the elemental archfiends emerged from the water at the back of the chamber. A horrifying creature of gnashing teeth and a serpentine body and wriggling tentacles. It didn't dare to speak, or rather it didn't deign to speak, but everyone knew its name regardless. Lathulian. And after a brief moment of mocking it, Thanatos was subsequently afflicted with the status condition of Charm. And the issues that caused plagued the group pretty much for the rest of the fight that began. And where we last left off, the party had been getting their asses kicked by this thing.
You know, it strikes me, you create this Eldritch abomination that causes headaches, and then I gained a headache.
That was not intentional.
I think you...
But either way, we come back to, I believe where we last left off, it was it Lathulian's turn or the party's turn?
Lathulian had just had a turn. We ended off as we were about to have ours.
Alright, fair enough. So then, Lathulian is towering over you guys ominously, tentacles writhing in anticipation of your next move. What do you do?
Screw this. Alistair, reset the field.
Okay. Might as well do it.
Activate the limit break.
Alright. So Alistair is activating his tier 2 limit break then, is what I'm understanding?
Quite.
Indeed. Healing Light of the Righteous. That's 3 destiny points off.
Alright. So
Now I'm down to 11.
alrighty. Alistair, seeing things sort of spiraling out of control and hearing that call from near you, give a sharp little nod and quickly slap the bottom of your staff down onto the ground, and this burst of light flies out in all directions, washing over everyone, and everyone who feels it. You feel this warmth permeating through your body, and any maladies you are afflicted with flee as your injuries are healed. And Thanatos, your mind, which had been clouded with whispers and ethereal screams and this deep, otherworldly, wordless voice seemingly commanding you to strike at your friends fades into silence, and your thoughts are your own again.
Wait, what?
It controlled your thoughts. We could really use some divine intervention about now.
So, Thanatos... Okay, so can he remember everything that he did?
Oh yeah, you were fully aware of everything that was happening. You just couldn't do anything to stop yourself.
Looking very pissed at what it made him do to Mika, and just in general, he's going to just look up this thing with this look. This look is like, okay, fuck this. Reach into his pockets and pull out both the crystals.
Lethulian's eyes zero in on you immediately as you do this.
Now, if I recall correctly, you said that we can all share the bit of destiny, because I think it costs like 8, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's 8 destiny points, but anyone can pitch in to cover the cost.
How many destiny points do you have, Thanatos, and Mika and Kyra as well?
Thanatos has 14, Kyra has 9.
Let's see here. Mika has 14 still.
So...
Alright, I want to keep my destiny because I have just enough to, as if things get bad, to do a Black Storm sharp shot without going into the danger zone.
Okay,
I don't mind giving some extra.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you do 4 and...
Or just...
okay. Alistair, you've just used yours, so I'd say gave 2 from Kyra, 2 from Mika, and then 4 from Thanatos.
Works for me.
Yeah, Mika will chip in 2. Also, really quickly, if everyone could remind me of what your 4 primary attributes currently set at, so I can update Ramu's stats accordingly.
Oh, I mean...
everyone.
Yeah, everyone, because these groups, their stats are derived from the highest stats across the group.
Well, I think Dex will be the best for me, because mine's currently 18 or 20 if you include my bonus.
Just base, no bonuses
that
here.
include
Mine
bonuses?
is obviously the
Okay,
best.
Okay, so 18 Dex. Here, I can pitch in for that.
All right. What's everyone's power?
8.
12 base and 16 with bonuses.
Okay, 12 then. Alistair?
Power, it's 12.
Actually,
But
who has the biggest mind?
Not me.
Mika, and it's already
But just
there.
keep,
Mika's
just keep
14.
in mind.
Yeah.
But keep in mind though that's a +2. So
12 is the highest.
10 is.
Yeah, 12 from Thanatos for power.
Alright.
My res is 9.
Res, okay. Alistair, your res?
What's Alistair's res?
My res is 8.
Okay. Thanatos and Kyra?
My res is 11. And Kyra's is 10.
So 11.
So 11.
And Dex will, of course, be knees at a solid 18.
And... what was mind?
Mind was Mika's at 14.
Okay.
Now I just real quickly need to...
I think you have a sheet for him to use.
Yeah, Ramu has a sheet.
I mean, it's in the roll.
Yeah. Like, how many
Yeah, I have.
how many rounds does he last? Because I know he after that runs out he
4 rounds. Ramu will be around for 4 rounds, and it'll take a slow
I
action
believe...
to spawn him. So it will take a slow action, even if you are hasted, to spawn Ramu, because that's how long it takes to manifest him. And once he manifests, Thanatos will disappear, and Ramu will take his place until Ramu wears off. That's how this generally works.
Okie dokies.
All right, so Thanatos is beginning a slow action to summon Ramu. What's everyone
All
else
right,
doing in the
now
meantime?
I did.
can,
I gotta
Can we-
take
Well, that's
this
the
thing
point.
off.
Go on.
Mika, can Mika haste Thanatos?
That won't speed up the summon, but she can.
I've always been able to summon, and that's
The reason it takes a slow action even with haste is because that's how long it takes for the summon to manifest, not for him to actually do the summon spell.
You know,
That's been part of the rule since we started doing summons.
Doesn't Mika also have haste Thundaga?
She does.
Everyone.
She does not have the MP for that right now, though.
Damn.
I could give her it.
Yeah, and Alice's normal potions
But
are high
Alistair-
potions.
Yeah, but Alistair's already used
His
his turn.
action, yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of fearing that Nathulian will try and do something to stop Thanos. So, Alistair, shield Thanatos for this round. That's an instant action.
Cover.
All right, so
Yeah.
you're changing cover from Kyra to Thanatos. Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
make
Which I
sure
was gonna
Nathulian
point
doesn't stop it.
Which
the
I was
only-
going to point out, that could be one other thing I could have done to knock Thanatos out of it, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, if
Well,
you shielded
it would've
Thanatos, it would have gotten you. So,
Okay. Well, so also the only way he can stop a slow action is either a knockback or limit break, right?
Knockback or critical hit. Or
Mm.
some
Knockback
other
or
spell
critical
that
hit.
stops you, like, stop or whatever.
I'm working on the assumption that Nathulian has a knockback. So,
Well, that's why I'm over here.
and why Alistair is shielding you. All right,
Also-
I have two arrows already done in. For
Why not
rifle,
use-
so
But
Why
what I
not use
meant...
barrage? Why not use barrage and hit everything?
Mm.
I could do that. I would hit the tentacles as well. And I've used, yeah, screw it. I'll use barrage,
All right.
and that is feed killer and will be lightning as well.
All right. Do your damage then.
And I just,
Oh, this is
Alright.
gonna hurt.
But what I meant was I remember receiving that cake, although I don't know if he was over-saturating as a character or what.
87 times 3.
All right, and that
87
will
times
be
3.
So 241 damage to all three things.
Nice.
Nice.
Good
So-
shout.
Which I wonder...
And I'm going
Which I
to.
wonder...
Well, let Alistair go. What's up?
Hmm.
What's up?
I was just gonna say, I wonder when I'm gonna use that cake I was given as a gift
Cake?
a while back.
What cake?
Well, I believe, I don't know if he was oversaturating, but apparently if I eat it or anyone else eats it, it offers some form of benefit from it.
Oh,
or
the
something.
Moogle cake. The Moogle
The
cake.
Moogle cake.
From Muglin.
I totally
Yeah, like
forgot
it's,
about that item.
What exactly does it do again, DM?
I do not remember.
Well, that's nice.
I think it's just a food
Bitch.
consumable.
Hmm.
Health or something like that. I think it was like equivalent to a high potion.
I think
Oh
so.
yeah, it was. It was
Hmm.
equivalent to a high potion.
All right.
Yeah.
Ah.
Anyways, so
All right, now shooting the thing.
I did.
all right, so you all watch as Thanatos begins to conjure up Ramu. Alistair quickly moves in front of him to provide defense, while Nee jumps up, sort of letting out this battle cry, presumably to get Lethulian's attention, and fires off a series of shots in rapid succession that rain down on Lethulian and his tentacles with this ear-piercing sort of noise. There's this deep, guttural sort of snarl from Lethulian as the arrows pierce various points on his body, drawing out these little spurts of inky black blood.
280 something, wasn't it? Damage to each of them.
It was 241.
Yeah, 241 damage. Like, tentacle-wise, how did that make them look?
I mean, they're still going. They're over half HP, I will say that.
Still far less than big ugly boy over there. I'm also going to leave it at that, because while those tentacles are up, I am not going into melee with Storm.
Yeah, no.
Mika.
I believe it would be safe for all of us to keep our distance.
Mika is going to pop 20 MP to cast Blizzara on one of the tentacles.
Nice.
So let's see here. So that will be her mind times 5, I do believe.
next round, Alistair, try and give Mika one of your Uber potions so that she can cast Haste Thundaga, so we can get 2 actions per turn.
We do
That
that.
would be very helpful.
Yeah.
All
Not to
right,
be
so
stocked
now
up on potions.
Oof. All right, so you all watch as Mika throws essentially this spear lance made of ice that she pulls up from her book, and it flies up and scrapes against Lathulian's hide and shatters, and it leaves a mark, but you get the impression that his armor absorbed the brunt of the damage.
Okay.
And naturally, he seems to be pretty resistant to ice as it is. So he takes half damage from ice, and his magic armor score was enough to nullify the remaining damage entirely. So that attack was useless.
So it's got a lot of magic armor.
As you recall, its magic armor is 45 and its armor is 20. You've been able to deduce that from the blows you've taken and landed.
Okay. Yeah, magic is best right now.
All right.
So if you want to use magic, focus on the tentacles.
And now it is Kyra's go.
Okay. I want to... Probably the safest bet is Bolt Breath, because I don't know how well fire is going to work on this thing.
Oh, it's water-based, so I imagine not.
Yeah.
I imagine not as well.
Bolt Breath is relatively weak, so again, go for a tentacle.
So he's up on the cooked calamari.
So, yeah, I'm just going to have her move up a little bit. Is that enough for Bolt Breath?
Is she within immediate... what is the range on her breath attacks? Does it say?
Hold on. Oh, well, okay. I've been doing these. Attack roll. Oops. Range. It just says that can perform either miss. Okay, so yeah, I've been missing a lot with deep breath. Damn. I really need to read that more. Okay, so let's try the bolt breath. So I guess I need to do an attack roll.
Also, until Ramu actually forms, I'm going to change the music back to the spooky music.
Spooky. Does that hit?
12?
And for the tentacle.
12?
Yeah, I think 12 does, because I reduced
Yeah,
his...
12 just hits.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 14, but I got a sabling shot on him.
So now it's half mine. No, it's mine times half her level. They're level 10 right now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, you guys are level 10. Also, if you want to use Bolt Breath, you got to get Kyra just a little closer, so about right there. It's short range.
Oh, that puts her in range of a tentacle there.
How is it? It didn't say anything about range.
It did. It said all short range enemies. Bolt Breath. White hot bolts of energy eliminate all short range enemies.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
That concerns me, because that puts Kyra in range.
Although, okay, hold on. Let's just try this. Mine times it's mine times half her level, so for mine is 7. This probably won't do a whole lot.
All right. So against this tentacle here. Guys,
Also,
Yeah.
we'll need to do it. Yes.
you
Yes,
guys,
the tentacle here.
you guys cut out for me.
Okay.
Oh no.
Well. Can you hear us?
I can now.
Okay, good. So hitting Bolt Breath on this one, and we're gonna need to do a finesse roll because apparently I forgot. Because apparently I just can't read.
All right. So you need to make it a post finesse check against Lethulian. All right.
Oh, no.
Which probably won't do anything because imagine the finesse is extremely high.
Yeah, what's it supposed
Exactly.
finesse check for?
Afflicting silence.
Bolt Breath has Bolt Breath. Yeah, Bolt Breath has a chance of inflicting seal,
which is basically silence.
which is basically silence. But again, the finesse is so high, I didn't really expect it to do anything.
You never know.
So, all right. So, Kyra goes charging in after seeing Thanatos doing the thing. Is like, over here, Lumix, and breathes out a spew of electrical energy against one of the tentacles, sort of seemingly trying to draw Lethulian's attention away. And I believe that is everyone.
Does it do any significant damage?
Does some damage, but it seems like, again, Lethulian's hide is thick and sturdy, so it did a little bit of damage, but not as much as you would have liked because of that thick skin.
At least
Very
it did
well.
some, thanks to that plus 50%.
Indeed.
All right, well then. Lethulian is going to become annoyed, rather, and is going to glare at Kyra, and is going to attempt to smack her with that tentacle there, using its action, so it's going to make an accuracy against her avoidance. Pretty sure 13 hits.
Yeah. Her avoidance is only 7.
And what is her physical armor?
15.
So Kyra takes 114 points of damage as the tentacle slaps out and crushes against her, sending her skidding back a few feet.
Okay, so Kyra, until we get rid of these tentacles, is not going to be very useful.
Well, no one is at melee range.
Let's see here. And then,
I mean, one thing you can do with Kara is have her jump, and when she lands, back her off.
True.
let's see here. And Lethulian, being quite perturbed at the events that are currently unfolding, is going to look at Alistair, identify him as a potential roadblock, and is going to expend 70 MP to cast Disable.
Well, shit.
I need you
again.
to make an opposed finesse check to avoid the effect.
This is going to be painful.
Let's see. Disable is
Shit.
basically causing stun.
You need to beat a 14.
Please, Alistair, please.
Well, don't look at me. It's the frickin' dice.
Come on, guys.
So, let's see what the dice say. Ness and Wool. Mark.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, Alistair,
Screw the dice.
as you've taken up a defensive position in front of Thanatos to keep him safe, you look down and suddenly a sphere of pitch black water forms around you, completely encasing you. You are stunned for the next round.
Not so much that potion.
And now, Lethulian's other tentacle is going to assume a defensive stance for this round, seeing as there is nothing else it can do for now. No one is in range, and the tentacles can only use melee attacks, so it can't attack anyone, so defensive stance.
Fortunately, that now means Thanatos.
It is now the party's turn, and Thanatos. After a few moments, you sort of hear in the back of your head, "I was wondering when you would call on my power." That
Mind giving this a hand?
Of course. It's time thunder struck on this beast. And the rest of you watch as Thanatos suddenly lifts up off the ground a few feet. Electricity starting to crackle from the crystals in his hands and over his body. Sort of look at him for a second as he looks down at his own hands, his entire body glowing brighter and brighter purple to the point it's almost blinding. You have to sort of shield your eyes as this deafening, thunderous crack peels through the entire chamber, making your ears ring as it reverberates deafeningly around you. And then a second later, as the light dims, a familiar, large shape of a robed, elderly man with the mother of all beards appears in front of you. Alrighty. Ramu has joined the battle. He will be here for 4. Wait, hold on. His bar says 3. Let me double check something really quick. I want to make sure I have the timing right on how long he will be here. Rules and notes. Summoning rules. Okay, yeah. Ramu will be around for 3 rounds, not 4. My mistake.
Well, that'll be plenty of time.
All right. What does Ramu do to open up?
Well, being the god of lightning, I see no other way to start it off than with Thundaga.
Alrighty.
And Thundaga is a group spell, and you can use Dex or Power. And seeing as, thanks to Neathil, his Dex is quite high,
Hiya.
we shall be using Dex. So, with that, it'll be Dex times 8. So, 18 times 8, 144. Roll 2d6 plus 144. 153 times 2. Now I need to...
Not times 2. It's, he takes 50% extra. That's why he needs lightning and fiend killer combos times 3 instead of times 4 damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He takes double damage from holy, not lightning. Either way, that is still a substantial 171 points of damage
to all of them, because it's a group spell.
Yep. So you watch as this large, crooked, very much lightning-themed staff appears in Ramu's hand, and he lifts it and his other hand up, and lightning bolts just start to flash out in rapid succession, slamming against the enemy in front of you, filling the entire chamber once more with that rumbling boom of thunder that seems to echo in the background, and even the ground beneath your feet starts to crackle and faintly glow with a static charge. All right, so that is Ramu's go. Who next?
Well then, Alice, so what skills do you have on you?
Well,
I know you can't use them, but I'm thinking giving one to Mika myself. From you.
yeah. Well, items, let's have a look here. I have 5 ethers, 5 regular potions, 1 phoenix down, 3 high potions, 3 high ethers, and a cake.
The cake.
How much MP does
Isn't he stunned?
Yes.
Yeah,
I am stunned, but he's planning to get something from me.
yeah, potentially. Also, how much does Thundaga cost, you-wise?
Thundaga costs 150 MP.
And high potion would be half back, so yeah, 108 MP would be given back to her. Enough for Thundaga. Mika has high potions.
You mean high ethers? High potions.
Oh, there's one. See how many? That one.
Tone.
Mika does have 2 high ethers, yes.
I'm going to give Mika one of her high ethers so she can cast Thundaga.
Alrighty.
Also, Tone.
Yes.
What kind of magic is Vox? I can't find it.
Vox? Let me double check. Vox. Give me a second. It's a novice level white magic spell.
Oh, okay.
It heals Seal.
Oh, okay. There it is. Okay, I was just looking through all of Ramu's spells.
All right, so, Tom, you quickly run up while Mika's flipping through her book. You pass her a high ether from her bag, says, thanks, chugs it, slaps a hand down, and expends 150 MP to cast Thundaga on the whole group.
And Ramu, is that enabled immediately, that effect?
If you've already taken your action at this point, it won't affect you, but anyone who hasn't gone will get their double action.
Oh.
So,
double
Kyra,
action.
what about Alistair, who for one turn was supposed to be stunned?
He is still stunned. It doesn't cure the stun status condition. So pretty much Kyra at present is the only one who gets any benefit until next round, but still.
Well, I mean, you could quickly literally have her jump, land, and then leg it from the tentacle.
Well, I mean, I could have her attack the tentacle, then jump. The next turn, she hits with the jump, and then goes, and then jumps back. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
But wouldn't you like to go first, Nee?
He already did her stuff.
Done.
Okay. So it's only Kyra. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
Kyra is last up on the turn order right now.
Let's see. What else can I have Kyra do other than Bolt Breath? Oh, wait a minute. What's that one do again? That's mine times what? Gear. That won't be a pull up. Okay, so let's just do another Bolt Breath real quick. Roll 2d6 plus 7. That does not hit. And so I'm just gonna have her jump then.
All right, so Kyra, feeling this invigorating rush of energy, comes rushing back forward towards the tentacles, spewing more lightning across it, but it manages to sort of duck back under the water for a second. And when it comes lashing back out to swipe at her, she quickly goes into a jump and manages to evade. So Kyra is now airborne. I believe that is everyone, yes?
Yes.
Alrighty. Then it is to the enemies. Kyra Alitzer is no longer stunned. I need to real quickly give everyone their turn thing on this. Also, there is one thing I really need to double check when it comes to summons. I want to make sure that Ramu can or cannot be under the effects of haste. I don't know if that's covered or not. Let me see here. Summoning. These are just the summons themselves, not the rules on them. Bah. Okay.
If it doesn't say, I say we MacGyver.
Ah, you're right. Summoning. Okay. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, Espers will be able to be affected by positive status conditions. So yes, Ramu is also hasted. Good to know.
Neat.
All right, well then. So Lathulian, though it is worth noting that because Ramu is a summon, he comes with Impervious, which means he's basically immune to all negative status conditions.
Neat.
Now, Lathulian is going to see Ramu, and you are going to hear this deep, bassy, rumbly roar of rage at the side of him. And Lethulian is going to... Let's see here. Actually, for the moment, Lethulian is also going to notice that everyone is super speedy cider squeezy. And is its tentacles are once again going to assume a defensive stance each, while Lethulian itself is going to expend 250 MP to cast Sloga.
You're kidding me, right?
And
You just did that!
I mean, hey, it's
Watch him.
taking his turn to do it, so he's sacrificing damage, and it won't hit Kyra because she is jumping.
Alistair, you're giving Mika another potion because fuck this guy.
I mean, hey, you can still attempt to resist. You know, you can roll against him. So, everyone,
Yeah, right. With his +8, sure.
I mean, hey, you have your own ways of getting around that.
So, what?
You can buff your rolls if you want. You have the destiny for it.
Finesse.
16. Jesus Christ.
Hang on, what's he doing?
He's casting
He's-
Sloga to dispel your Hastiga. It won't affect
Yeah.
Kyra or Ramu, but he is trying to get the rest of you. It won't affect Ramu because he's immune to
just
negative
got
sense
haste.
conditions, and it won't affect
didn't even
Kyra
do
because she's
anything with it.
jumping. So
So,
Alistair, when we're done with this, you're giving Mika one of your special potions and she's casting it again.
Yep, no problem.
all right. So Alistair, finesse check, opposed, roll.
But of course.
you Phoenix Strike.
That seems
I love
appropriate.
that.
You heard that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Objection.
Nice one.
Well, at least it used up a lot
Oh,
of his
Phoenix
MP
Strike.
to do that.
Son of a bitch. Not even I got a...
just
Mika
barely.
resists.
Mika just barely resists.
Well, then she can do 2 actions.
Lucky
there.
miss.
All right. So
Nice.
if Alistair and me don't want to expend destiny to buff their rolls, then they lose haste.
Oh, I'm spending one.
Oh, okay, go ahead and roll.
That's... Okay, one.
I don't.
Yeah.
Alistair, wait a minute. Before you do that, remember, I don't want to spend any destiny because otherwise I won't be able to do the emergency fuck you attack. And also,
Mika can
we can
still
we can quickly
do-
get it back. If you next turn give one of your potions, like a high potion to Mika, would give it back to full because it's doubles for you. A high potion, a normal ether would act as a high ether.
Quiet.
So if you can just get Mika to the point where she can cast a stagger again, she'll also have an extra action because she resisted.
I mean, she doesn't even need to
Yeah.
cast Haste Daga. She just needs regular old haste.
Does she have haste?
I wouldn't even.
Yeah, she
I
has
won't have
haste
haste
and
if I
haste to go.
don't. But then again, thinking about it,
You can try and
I
resist
might-
if you want. If you succeed, then Mika just can cast normal haste on me, I guess.
but then again, I think it might be safe not to. We might need another reset button.
All right.
Okay, so
So yeah, proceed.
All right. So the haste effect is lifted from Alistair and Neothil as Lethulian casts that spell.
Ramu's not affected, and Kyra is.
Unaffected because she's jumping, and Mika manages to resist. Back to the party.
Alistair, do the thing.
Already on it. Mika, you might need another potion.
All right. So you're giving her a high ether?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I was gonna give her a normal, but a high would
I
make
get
it
to
more.
back to full. Yeah.
Even though my regulars
high
are
ro-
high.
Yeah, I believe with how Alchemist works, it increases it by
No, it
25%, so she'll get
Yeah,
back
it
to 100%.
increases it by 25%. So yeah.
So a high ether will act as a turbo ether and give her 75% MP back, so a plus 162. Also, Kyra lands. We should probably do that real quick. Where does she land? Do you want her to land with an attack or just land somewhere else?
Yeah, go ahead and land an attack on this one.
So just double check. Nee took a normal ether, right?
I used one of Mika's for that, not one of yours.
Alright.
And does that hit?
Yeah, 12 just hits.
12 just hits, so roll 6 plus. We never got her any new equipment as far as I remember. Yeah, it's still a tier 3. So that's power 14 times 3 is 42. At least his armor score is lower than his magic. 51.
51. All right. That's a total of 31 damage to that tentacle once armor is taken into consideration.
Now, let me check one more thing.
And what is Ramatos doing?
Hold on a second. I want to see one more thing for Kyra.
What do you think is better, Ramatos or Thamu?
It's just fucking Ramu.
Just read. Also, okay. So with her weapon, she can go for just one medium. So reach weapons basically are still in one melee range, right?
Well, let me double check. Reach. Reach weapons possess a special property known as critical attack. Reach weapons cause critical hits on attack rolls that result on a die result of 11 to 12 instead of just the standard 12. So she still has to be within 0.3 medium ranges to attack melee.
Alright, then I'm gonna just... So, well, yeah, but since I'm just gonna have her move away with us because I don't want her getting smacked by the tentacle again. And I can't have her jump again until next round.
Oh, actually, hold on a second. I forgot. That tentacle was in a defensive stance, so I need to give it back 15 HP because it absorbed half of the damage it took because defensive stance.
Okay, now Ramu gets 2 things.
Yep.
So, let's see here. Let us do Thundaga again. So that's 155 to everyone.
Plus 50%.
All right, so that amounts to a total of 187.
And how are the tentacles looking now?
They're both looking pretty roughed up from that as more lightning bolts cascade over them.
Finish it. Finish them.
Should I do Thundaga again?
Until those tentacles are gone, smash shocking.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just have him do it again.
Alrighty.
Since it's a group attack, let's get rid of these stupid tentacles so we don't have to worry about being in melee range.
Yep. So long as it's just one melee attack we have to worry about, we can heal through it.
Yep, so hit him again.
Alright, so another wave of lightning bolts rushes out from Ramu's hand and staff, cascading over Lathulian and his tentacles, and with these horrifying squelchy sounds, both of the tentacles rupture, burst, and pop like balloons, scattering
Unlimited power!
Scattering black, inky, chunky flesh across the room that just starts to sizzle and pop like acid on the crystalline floors.
Ah, much better. Mika, would you mind giving me the speedy?
Mika nods, turns to you, and she is going to cast Just regular old haste on
How much
me.
does that cost? How much does
And
that cost?
That costs 90.
And since I haven't taken any turns, yeah, that gives me both actions. And
Yep,
since
yep.
I can now go in close and dual wield, first I'm going to shoot him.
Shoot him!
2d6 plus 7. Hit him.
Yep, you did.
That's plus 80. That's times 3. And then I'm going to melee. So aim to hit. I hit.
All right.
And that will be plus 72, which will just be plus 50%. And that's one turn. Second turn, I'm going to reload lightning arrows. Stab. Okay. Missed on that one.
Oh yeah, that's a critical fail,
Critical
by the way.
fail.
So,
Yeah.
so you all watch as Nee goes in, firing off shots and coming in with her dagger. She manages to actually land some pretty hefty hits, aiming for the soft tissue around where the tentacles.
Hold on.
What?
I'm just considering something.
I mean, you've already made the
go
roll,
ahead.
so you're committed.
Yeah, I was thinking of using dual mine, but that's 2 destiny points, not 1, so nah.
Yeah. So you fire off. You all watch as Nee goes charging forward with this battle cry, firing off a shot, managing to put a pretty nasty gash into Lethulian's belly in the softer tissue around where his tentacles and large mouth emerge. But as she goes in for a second strike, her foot slips on the slick floor and the sizzling black blood that's over the ground, and she falls to the ground and just hits there. She's prone. You're gonna have to spend a standard action next turn to get back up. And just because...
Right.
And you also take 5 unmitigated damage from that. As your
That's
head
just
kinda,
Bessie.
as your head thunks against the ground.
Just because.
So, Nia's on the ground. And Nika still has one thing she can do. Because she was already hasted. So she is going to look over at Kyra. And she is going to cast... Actually, no. She's going to look at Nee prone on the ground, and she's going to expend 40 MP to cast Protect on her. So, for the duration of that effect, Nee, you take half damage from melee attacks.
Now reminds me how I've never even had an opportunity to use Mika's earring yet, which at 20% HP I have Protect cast by default.
Well, as it is, Lethulian is very unamused by what you just did. He's going to glare down at you, and he is going to attempt to cast Enslave on you. So first he makes an accuracy roll against you, because this technically counts as an attack, not a spell. That's a 13
Will
to
the
hit.
fact again that I have 2 minds do anything here?
I mean, you can call on that if you want. Anyway, so I assume a 13 hits.
Just, yeah.
All right, what is your magic armor?
Magic armor is 25.
All right, so you take 121 points of damage as these glowing orange eyes glare down at you, and you hear these whispers trying to break into your mind. You need to make an opposed finesse check to avoid being afflicted with charm. Ooh.
Fucking hell.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, we're not going to be getting Blackstorm in this fight. Extra.
Nah.
14. Extra. Fuck you, dice! 15.
All right.
You're gonna attempt another one?
Thank you.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Ooh.
So you have to call on all of your strength, but you're able to. You manage to force the whispers out of your head. Lithulian is not pleased.
Jesus Christ, that was bullshit.
Luck of the dice, man. Back to the party. Ramu has
I-
one turn left.
Also, I have a question.
Yes.
His ability called Shock Strike, is that or is that lightning damage?
Shock strike. Let me double check his thing in the rule book. Ramu, where are you, Ramu? Ramu. Show yourself, you little shit. Ramu. Shock strike. It is lightning damage, yes.
Wonderful. So I'm going to have him use Shock Strike.
That is, there is one thing I need to double check really quick.
Also says I can choose one positive status condition on the target to remove. What does that mean?
It means if Lithulian has any positive status conditions, you can remove them.
But does he?
Not at present.
Not at present.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay, so this is Ramu's third and final turn on the field. As soon as this turn ends, he will depart, but he will automatically be able to cast his Astral Flow before he leaves if you want. It'll take up one of his haste actions, though.
Okay, so I can do
Judgment Bolt. Hell yes.
So I can do Shock Strike and Judgment Bolt this turn, right?
Pretty much. And then he will
Excellent.
disappear, and it'll be back to you.
Also, does Shock Strike require an attack roll? Doesn't say.
Let me double check that again.
Doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't say I need to do an attack roll.
Well, given
Not
that
even in the
given that Ramu doesn't even have an accuracy score, I assume it's just an automatic hit like a spell, so no accuracy needed.
Okay, so mind. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Since he has haste and is going to leave this round anyway, screw Shock Strike. I'm going to do Thundaga so I can use the Dex score.
All right.
So roll true search plus 144 for Thundaga again.
All right, so total another 187 points of damage.
Now we will do the Judgment Bolt. So
Do
it's
it.
mine times 12 plus 2d6. So mine is 14. 14 times 12 is 168. $176.
For a total of 219 when all stats are considered. All right, so you can all see that Ramu's presence here is already starting to wear thin from the energy he's expended so quickly. He lets out the sort of always so short-lived. Lifts his hands back up and more lightning bolts fly out to strike against Lithulian in rapid succession. And then finally he lifts his staff up high, chanting in some unknown language none of you understand. The air around you begins to swirl with dark purple storm clouds that crackle viciously with energy, all gathering and swirling together onto the tip of his staff before he throws it like a javelin at Lithulian, puncturing the creature's chest and emitting this enormous dome of blinding white electrical energy that reverberates deafeningly throughout the chamber before fading. And as the energy fades, Ramu looks back down to the rest of you. The rest is in your hands. Good luck. And he fades from view, and Thanatos returns, his turn all used up, and you feel very tired as you come back to the fray, Thanatos sort of crumpling to the ground on your hands and knees. Just exhausted.
That's quite a rush.
I think the beard suited
It
you.
was.
Yeah, Lethulian is still there, by the way, so back to
So-
Can I spend one action to get up?
Yeah, you have to spend one of your actions to get up.
I
So-
can still and shoot him and down.
Yep.
So how does he look, by the way?
He's looking pretty rough. He is under half HP.
Excellent.
Just missed with the shot.
Next question: how much destiny does Mika have now?
Mika has...
Hit with that one.
Mika has 12 destiny left. Okay, and what does that attack with, Tom? The 15?
I missed with the bow. I hit with the dagger. The plus 15%. And then I'm going to also move an action to get away.
Alrighty, so that is 98 damage. You manage to sort of scramble back to your feet. You fire off a shot and frantically with your bow, but it kind of gets batted aside by one of the tentacles. But you're able to quickly scramble away before another tentacle slams down where you just were. Alright. What's Kyra doing?
Oh, right, Kyra.
Let's deal with her real quick.
I guess. Let's see here. You know what, I am curious about something, though I don't know if it's worth a try.
What?
Water creatures aren't normally immune to fire, are they?
It depends? Why?
Because her fire attacks do more. I just wondered if... Well, even without the added damage from the elemental deal, yeah, it's probably not worth it. Never mind. Let us just do a melee attack then.
Alright. 12 just hits.
Say his regular armor is less than his magic armor.
Alright, so that is 31 damage as Kyra comes in with her whip and gives a good old lash across his tum-tum.
And now we jump.
Alright, and Kyra jumps up, avoiding another swipe from one of his tentacles. Alistair, what you doing?
A part of me wants to heal because I haven't really got much to deal damage to this thing, except Dia.
The area is doubles.
Yeah, but still kind of significant.
He's got a lot of magic armor though.
Yeah, it's kind of insignificant at this point. So yeah, if you want to heal...
Yeah, I've already
me,
tested that theory out. So it's either going to be... I mean, I was going to say me... Nia... But nah...
Kyra's in the air right now.
Kyra's
She
in-
can't be hit.
Yeah, Kyra's
Okay.
fine.
So I could heal Nia then. Just do that. Let's see.
Although you could give an ether to Mika so she can do Comet next round. Or actually, no, I haven't.
Don't do comment. That didn't work last time.
Yeah, it didn't work.
You mean it didn't work?
We told you.
Each of the comets only does her mind times 3 plus 2d6. And then when you subtract this guy's magic armor from each of those individually, the damage output becomes minuscule.
You don't remember
Okay.
last
Last time
session
she
how
did
she
it,
did it and it did nothing.
Okay, I was probably away at that
Yeah,
point.
you were AFK at the time.
Yeah, but we told you when you come back was why we
Okay.
wouldn't despair.
Okay, so yeah, Comet doesn't work. So I do have Oh, that doesn't matter. I do have a request of Mika next round anyway. Or
As it is.
does she still have an action this round?
She hasn't done anything this round, has she?
Not yet.
Yeah.
As it is, Ramu's gone, so I'm swapping the music away from him.
May I make a request?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Mika?
cast Cure on
Okay,
Nate.
yeah, I'll let him do the cure, and then I have a request for the Mika.
Alright, sure.
Which I would drop down to 37, take away Dune.
And now
And then the wall. Plus, waste my mind.
Yep.
To do.
So he regains 45 hit points.
Let's see. I'm probably also going to cover Mika since I'm closer, or I could go over there and try to cover.
Kyra,
Nate.
Do the Mika.
You can cover Ramu.
Hey, yeah, cover Mika.
Yep.
Alright. Is there anything else you wish to do? You still have a... Oh, wait, no, you're not hasted. Never mind.
Yeah. I don't have haste.
And so now it's the Mika. May I make a request of the Mika?
You may?
Crimson Crescent.
Oh, yeah, that is a thing she can do.
Because it gets rid of all of his immunities. Meaning I can use...
How many Destiny points does she have? She used 4, did she? So she has 10.
She used 2. She has 12 left.
Alright, then, fine. Go to 9.
Alright, let me just find her the thing that tells me what the hell Crimson Crescent does again.
2 melee attacks. And then after it hits, it removes all immunities and resistances.
Alright.
That misses.
That one misses.
As does
She
that.
is going to expend another point of destiny to increase that second one.
And that just hits.
All right, so one of them misses, but she hits with at least one.
Christ.
The dice have just
Yeah,
not
the
really
dice
liked
don't-
you all that much today.
Yeah, the
have they?
dice don't like us today.
All right. Ignores Lethulian's armor, so 101 points of damage. As she fires off, swinging her sword. Hang on, I mistyped something. Give me a moment.
This
Right,
also means
so-
you can use Shadow now.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
Mika just kind of glares at Lethulian. Her bug flashes into his sword and starts crackling with red energy. Just die already! As she fires off twin crescents of energy, Lethulian manages to bat aside the first one, but the second one strikes him in the chest where Ramu's staff hit earlier. There's a pulse of energy, and all of his elemental reactions are utterly nullified.
Good.
Just all of his positive elemental reactions.
All resistances and immunities are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I believe it is its turn.
Yep. Give me a moment here.
Next turn we go all out on this biatch.
All right, so Lethulian is he's not really happy right now.
Oh, didn't.
He is going to glare down at everyone.
Never break tie. Alistair, prepare your moot shield.
It's ready.
Yep, Lethulian's tentacles will spread out, and you all watch as everything around Lethulian begins to darken. He is using his limit break. The entire chamber continues to grow dark, and you can hear more bubbling and sizzling like acid striking against undulating flesh. You can hear more whispers in the background, but they are rapidly rising to terrified and agonized screams. The darkness around you becomes so thick that you can't see through it, and then it begins to burn. Time for the damage roll.
This is gonna hurt.
So Alistair will
Sentinel.
use Sentinel, which means it'll only hit him, but it hits for double.
Prepare a Phoenix down. Alistair is how it
I'm
goes.
pretty sure it's
Probably
more
going to
double,
go
isn't
down.
it?
Here, let me double check. I have the deal open. Paladin. Sentinel. Limit breaks rejected to this will deal 200% standard.
So yeah, it's double damage.
Double.
Yep.
All right, so double the following number, and it ignores your armor and magic armor.
So, hold on. Actually, Alistair might actually survive
I
this.
understand. Just hang on.
Hold on, let's see here. 200.
Yeah, just about. I'm on 8. Fucking hell. Hell, I'm on 8.
How did he survive?
There we go.
Okay, well, so after a moment,
Lots
though,
of HP.
as this darkness is setting in and starting to burn at your skin, you look around frantic for a way to get out, and then suddenly it all gets pulled away by this one little pearl of light in the shadow, and all of the darkness bleeds in onto it. And then there's this little pulse as the darkness fades. And Alistair is standing there, arms outstretched, though he looks absolutely horrible for the experience. He's gasping for breath, his skin is shriveled up. He's bleeding all over from his eyes, nose, mouth, ears, everywhere. Just there's all kinds of little burn marks and erosions in his skin that he's bleeding profusely through. And he is visibly
I suggest you
paler.
take a high potion.
He is
Yeah,
visibly
let's
paler.
I
Alistair?
shall not pass out.
Alistair,
What is that?
Alistair is currently under the effects of curse.
Which does what?
What is? Oh god. I'll look it up.
Alistair can no longer expend destiny for any purpose for the next 4 rounds.
Okay.
That's not so bad. That's not-
Well, I mean,
Well,
it's not
let's
so
hope
bad.
we
We're
don't
not-
need a
we don't want to
reset
use that when
anytime
we break again
soon.
anyway.
I think the only one who needs a reset is you. Take a high potion.
Yeah, you wanted to use that Moogle cake? Do it.
Also, one more thing. As the darkness is fading, you do notice that even though Alistair absorbed the brunt of what just happened, the ground is still covered in this black, inky, evil shit. And as Lethulian begins to sort of wind down, just glaring irritatedly at Alistair for absorbing the brunt of it, and it goes back to your guys' turn,
Oh no.
there is
What's that?
now a passive damage over time effect on the entire room. At the start of every one of
Right.
your guys' rounds, you will take 60 plus
I'm
2d6
down.
water damage.
So I'm down
Water
anyway.
damage.
Yeah, so
Alistair goes down.
so Alistair goes down, and everyone else takes that damage with their magic armor shaved off.
So
Oh, wait,
minus
hang on.
25,
And that
55.
effect will persist for the duration of the battle.
Hang on, where is it? Oh, I see.
I mean,
So-
Alistair's down anyway, so you don't need to worry about it right now, but let's see here. Mika's magic armor.
Let's hold on a second.
That was so cool. You managed to survive, only for a stupid damage over time deal to get you. Also,
Me
Kyra
too.
doesn't get hit because she's in the air.
Yeah, Kyra's good. Though she will take damage if she's on the ground. Let's see here. Need, did you already apply the damage?
Yeah.
All right, Thanatos?
It.
All right. But yeah,
Is that shadow damage?
No,
it's
it's water.
It's water. It's water.
Water.
You would love it if it was Shadow, now wouldn't you?
Oh, you would, because you'd healed it.
I
So,
feed on it.
it's back to the party's turn. I need to real quickly shave off some more from the stuff. Kyra lands.
Alright, Kyra will land with the physical. Because jump does physical attack. 15
hits. Also, if you could have Kyra roll an awareness check after you apply that damage.
$11.
All right. As Kyra is landing, She takes a step back and yells back to the rest of you, guys, he doesn't look as hurt as before.
Wait, what? What do you mean? What tone?
It seems that he absorbed the damage he did to Alistair with his limit break.
What?
He healed. So he healed by 245, right?
He healed by the damage he did to Alistair, so 490.
Are you?
Don't worry, I'm about to undo most of that.
You gonna
Wait,
start?
hit.
You gonna
No.
start starting?
No, but this hurts him anyway.
Okay, well, this is gonna hurt anyway.
Hit.
Just hits.
And this is
And
times
remember,
3.
he's still unimpressed. Yes, he healed, but he's not happy.
Yep. Then dagger, strike.
So that 87 is times 3, right?
Yep.
Yep.
261 minus his regular armor.
And that's times 50%. So half.
Give me just a second.
For some reason, I just got reminded when Deadpool had a fortunate encounter with the Hulk, how I went down.
All right, so quick double strike from Knee, and
Yep.
the stuff that Lethulian got back pretty quickly fades away, and he's growling in irritation and pain, and you do see a little bit of uncertainty in those otherworldly eyes of his.
And dagger. Come on, dagger. Yep, just got it. That's another plus 50%, and moving away. Making Zoidberg noises.
All right.
Okay.
Another
Now-
slice.
So I'm gonna have. Kyra still has her turn from her jump, so I'm gonna have her.
Never.
One. Oh wait, so the jump doesn't count of her actions this turn, right? Like the jump attack doesn't count for her actions this turn, right?
No, it doesn't. That was a slow action.
Okay, good.
It doesn't. So she
So first-
still has 2 actions. But she's still
So
raging.
first things first, I'm going to have her do a little something. 13 for fire breath
Oh, okay.
because that does more damage. So 12 times 5. Actually, no, that's 12 times 6 because I think I gave her a fire strike deal. Hold on. Yes, fire enhancer. So that's an extra damage step. So
Yeah, and this is actual damage now, because I think my attacks took off most of what he regained.
So, 36 plus 72. 80.
All right, so a total of 60 damage.
Now, with her second action, she's going to back up, and Alistair has a Phoenix down on him, right?
Yeah, probably.
Oh, yes.
So she's going to back.
He has 2 of them.
So she's going to back up and revive Alistair with
All right.
his Phoenix down.
All right. Alistair, you are up at 1 HP. You are still cursed, though.
Alistair, take a high potion, maybe eat a Moogle cake.
Yeah, eat that Moogle cake.
Yeah, I was thinking about eating the cake. That would be good right now.
So that'll be 75% of your HP back.
It's like, in his head, he just hears the voice of
It's,
Mogul again. Eat the cake, Kupal.
It is worth noting that the cake doesn't count as a consumable. It counts as a food item, and I don't know if Alchemist applies to that. They are.
I
different
will double check.
categories. Yeah.
I thought it. Hang on a
I will
minute.
double check.
I thought it-
That'll be properties. Properties. Alchemist.
Any item. So yeah, so you would get the increased stat. So it would be 75.
I thought
Eat
so.
the cake, Kupal. It is your only hope, Kupal.
Okay.
The cake. The Kupos. Why the Kupos? So 75.
Thank you, King Capo. You awesome.
So Alistair gets back
It's
300.
Moblin, Kupal.
Alistair gets back 373 HP. There you go.
He chunks the cake. Yep.
There you go.
All right. I believe the only one who is yet to go this round is Mika and
Me.
Thanatos, right?
Indeed. So
Mika and Thanatos.
my
I'm
turn.
alive! Alive!
So, okay, hold on. Can I get? How far can I get right now? I can very well get into melee range. So, first things first. I'm going to charge over here.
Alrighty.
Next, I will expend 25% of my HP.
All right. For dark side, I'm assuming. You guys cut out for me again. No, that's not the button I wanted to push. Damn it, Discord, why do you have to take a shit? Hello?
You changed the region.
Hello?
Hi? Hi, can you hear me now?
Can you hear?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yay, I can hear you.
Sorry,
Okay.
everyone. We're having Discord issues.
On
Alright.
the DM end, because everyone else is fine.
Can everybody hear each other?
Yes.
Good. Now bring out the Caius.
Okay. There's the up here. This is a big ass arena. Alright, so you brought up
Yeah.
cards. What you doing with them?
Indeed. As we are both under the influence of the dark side, time for a double melee attack.
Yeah.
With our powers combined, we will slightly tickle this guy
That's one. And both of their weapons have Fiend Killer, so
Ew, double.
on top of the dark side. On top of the dark side. So both of those will hit.
Nice.
Now, let's see here. Oh, this will be beautiful damage. So that will be power times 7. Oh, yes. So roll 2d6 plus 112. Ta-da!
And both of those are doubled, yes?
And both of those are doubled from Fiend Killer, yes.
So 212. And 226.
Aha!
Alright, so both of you and you all watch as Thanatos goes charging forward with this loud battle cry, having caught his breath after summoning Ramu. He jumps forward and his cloak flashes off of him and Caius appears next to him, and as one they land on Lethulian's upturned belly and drive their blades down. There's a spray of more of this black inky blood all over the place, and two of his tentacles, the ones right by his mouth, just kind of slurp out as they pull their blades free in these wide arcing crescents. And Lethulian lets out this agonized, gurgling roar in response before shaking you both off.
Aha!
And now it is back to Mika.
What shall the Mika do?
She has 2 turns to do.
That she does. So the first thing Mika is going to do is she is going to... I'm debating having her use her limit break again.
I mean, how much destiny does she have? Like 9 currently?
Yeah, hold on. I forgot to update her destiny count, but yeah, she still has 9.
Yeah,
I'd go on 6 if she uses it, so I'd rather not.
yeah, I'd rather we. There's no real point in doing it again, considering his immunities are gone.
What healing spells does she currently have on hand?
She has Kiraga. The only one she's missing is Kiraja.
Kuraga's a group spell. How much does that cost MP wise?
60.
That'll just.
Mika, a couple of us are banged up, and because of the arena, we could use some extra medical assistance.
Alright, so she is going to use one of her turns to cast Kiraga. That'll be Mind times 5 HP back to everyone. Her Mind is 16.
Maybe follow that up with an ether.
So... Everyone regains 86 HP, and she will indeed chug her last high ether. Give me a moment to find her inventory. Alright, and that's everyone, I do believe.
Yep.
Back to Lethulian, then. And Lethulian is not...
You didn't update Mika's MP counter.
I did. It's... Oh, right, hold on.
Okay.
108 she gets back.
Oh, I forgot. I need to do Kairos. Yeah, shit. There we go.
Well done, Lethulian.
What shall the Lithuanian be doing?
Lethulian is very, 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 very annoyed with all of you right now.
I feel like
And-
using your soul.
Well, what he is going to do is he is going to cast Waterga on everyone. And because it's a water elemental field right now after his limit break went off, he's going to do more damage steps. So I need to real quickly double check the rate base damage.
Oh, well, might lose Caius again. Damn it.
As if there was any doubt.
Why do they always do a group spell every time I bring him out?
He's just trying to kill you all right now. So power times 6, but it's...
Oh, thanks for having me.
Well, you
Oh
got
my god, you vanquished Caius! You bastard!
It's kind of becoming like that, huh?
I mean,
Yeah.
he did get a good chunk of attack on him, so I'll give him that.
I need to really quickly double check. Music, I'm trying to remind myself just how much elemental fields increase damage. An additional 2 steps of damage. So his will be...
Oh dear.
Alright.
Oh yeah, Caius is gone.
Yep, Caius go poof.
And
So this enormous burst of water erupts outwards from Lethulian, washing over everyone, dealing that damage.
So that's
By your magic armor stat.
So
117 minus magic armor.
Yep.
minus 152.
45. So minus 145. This is where we had Mika do the heals.
Mika also takes 145 damage. Alistair,
Mm-hmm.
what's your magic armor again? 46?
Yes, it is.
So you take 124 points of water damage.
Oof.
Did you already do Kyra there, Hades?
I already did.
All right, it is back to the party. Haste wears off on Mika and Kyra. It's still up on Knee. Half of the curse status condition has worn off with Alistair. He has one left. And also everyone takes damage from the floor.
So minus 40, minus 60, isn't it? How much is it?
It's 60 plus 2d6 that everyone takes unmitigated, so 65 points of damage to everyone.
Alright, so the minus 25.
It's unmitigated.
Ah!
It's just
shit.
raw.
Ow.
Yeah.
We need more healing. Meanwhile, while they're working that out, because I have 2 actions left and my crossbow is fully reloaded. One hit. 86 times 3. Dagger. Hit. Plus 50%. Second crossbow hit. Another hit.
Jesus Christ.
82 times 3. One more dagger. Just another hit.
You know, me with haste is very OP.
When I have my crossbow reloaded for both attacks, aye.
Okay, so give me a minute. This is going to take a minute.
And move away again. Ah.
Okay.
How do you want to do this?
Wait.
You got him.
Oh,
You had
yes.
535 hit points left. You did 664.
Jesus.
I've been trying to get both of my crossbows loaded just to do a flat-out damage like that the entire time, but then I got a crit fail, so I landed on my face. But so he has had enough of this little shit. So running forward, she's going to fire 2 crossbow bolts in quick succession. She's going to get our dagger, jump up to the creature's stomach, and stab in her dagger the first time to kind of get purchase. Use it to pull herself up to its little ugly ass face, and then second dagger's going straight into where I presume its brain will be.
All right, so you watch as Nee pulls off this complicated series of maneuvers, firing off 2 shots that send it writhing in pain, jumps up, stabs into its belly, and then with one more pull, launches herself up towards its face and stabs it again right in its uppermost eye, piercing through with another gush of black, goopy blood. Lithulian twitches and then slows down. And then it just begins to dissolve into this black, pasty mush that dissolves gradually into the water. You kind of have to jump back and land right in front of it to avoid being swallowed up in the inky mass as it begins to dissolve and crumble away. There's one last little sort of regurgitation from the swampy mass, and something flies up out of it and stabs into the ground right between you and Thanatos, and in front of Mika, right about here.
What is that?
As the inky, bloody, evil shit gradually peels away, you see that it is a spike from one of Lithulian's large teeth, and dangling off of it by what it looks to be a long bookmark, you see a coral reef-styled thick book.
Hey, new big thing for Mika. It's a new
I
weapon for
guess.
Mika.
Okay. So I guess one of us grabs it and takes it to her.
And she just takes it herself.
Oh, yeah.
Ah.
The aquanomic.
What were you
I love
expecting?
it.
What were you expecting? Be real. What were you expecting? This whole boss was Lovecraft themed.
I see what
At
you
least
did
it, yep. At least it ain't the Book of Ex Mortis.
there. Yes, this book can also be used to sword in battle with no extra actions required to spawn. It allows the user to cast Zelda Standard. Additionally, when attacking an enemy, Mika can choose to do 50% damage to the target and attempt to inflict them with the Silence status,
Nice.
which
Well
basically
done.
stops them from using spells.
Well, didn't expect that.
No kidding. I think that was the toughest one we fought so far.
They're
Definitely.
definitely getting stronger,
Well,
but
there's only one left. 3 for 3.
and this one will be ice.
Yippee.
Or
walks up to
potentially
the book
wind.
on the tooth and gently prizes it free and looks it over. Weird. A scythe for Thanatos and a book for me. I'm starting to wonder if Serana's leaving us presents.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I'm sure that's his way of being a smartass. Still, if he screws himself over being clever, let him.
You okay, Alistair? You kinda took the brunt of that.
You too, Kyra.
Ah.
You...
Kyra shrugs. I'm alright. A little banged up, but I'll live.
You got
You
snapped by
got
his
it.
tentacles.
No need to-
Quite good.
No need to worry. I mean, it won't be the first time I went down. I walk it off.
You nearly withstood it as well. Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless it
Mika,
shows I'm getting
sorry.
stronger myself, I guess.
Mika, I'm sorry about the beginning of the fight.
No, it's fine, it's fine. You were being controlled.
Besides, it's
Yeah.
rather cathartic punching you in the face with a random stone on the floor.
Neat. Come on.
Well, everything
Time and a
worked
place.
out. Ramu really busted us out of a tight situation there.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I was wondering when you'd whip him out.
Well,
Indeed.
it was a Water Fiend. What better god to throw at it than lightning?
Speaking of summons, Ika, you have your own now.
Yep.
Shame the Fire Fiend isn't still around, or you could have really put her out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get a chance. Still the Hellfire Pit eventually, and I'm sure Ifrit isn't going to just hand the crystal over. That doesn't seem to be his style.
Yeah. Kyra, how you doing? You got pretty banged up there.
I'm alive. Armor's gonna need to be undented, but I'll live. Ow. She sort of rubs it
Same with me.
on her side.
I'll have to say, Alistair, I was pretty impressed. You withstood that if it weren't for the whole floor thing.
Thanks. I have been trying to make myself more durable since I take the brunt of most attacks. But even I have my limitations.
Just proves that we just need to keep improving. These things are getting stronger.
And so with me.
Mika, how are you feeling?
A lot better now that I have this. And she holds up the crystal. But until Saran's out of the picture, it's not over.
No.
I doubt I'll
But
really feel at peace until he's dead.
Well, if nothing else, remember, now that you have the crystal, you found it, and now we killed the fiend, the oasis, for the moment, it's safe. And everyone in
Indeed.
it.
Yeah. That being said, I do kind of want to get back there. She looks down at the. She looks back down at sort of the still, inky, slowly clearing up water. Him just being around here made the water turn dark like that. I don't know.
I'll
Just
check
wanna-
it out. Wait. Tell Sid what happened anyway. Come on, let's get back to the ship.
Yeah, Mika turns to you, Alistair. You think you could get in touch with your book thing? Let him know what's going on?
Yep, no problem. I'll keep it in nice and safe, so it should be okay.
All right. Are you gonna whip it out right now, or are you gonna wait?
I'll probably do it on the way, like walk and multitask.
All
On
right.
the way back to the ship.
Alrighty
Let
then.
them know what's happened.
All right. Well, you step out of the blue tombstone then, and as you're emerging back out into the still rainy, but not nearly as rainy daylight air, then it is you pull out the book, sort of sheltering it with your body, and flip it open to the most recent page. What?
I don't have a book.
Oh, Alistair, excuse
It's
me.
me.
Alistair, excuse me. My bad.
It's fine. Yeah, as you were saying.
You flip it open, and you are greeted by an entry being written in progress.
Huh.
And it's from Nabat, and it's saying,
Oh.
whatever the hell you guys are doing, make it quick. The town's under attack.
Wait, what?
Say what?
Are you going to write a response?
Well,
That's
no,
what I
wait, but
just
under attack
said.
by what? That's why we're... Yeah. Yep.
All right, so you write that down, and a second later, there is a response. It says, "That's odd. They're leaving."
Alistair, tell her about
What?
the fiend that we just killed.
We just vanquished a fiend, but I would also like to know the details of what's leaving. Can you tell us?
About half an hour ago, all of the water began to turn dark. And then these strange, black, watery serpents just started appearing out of it out of nowhere and attacking everything in sight. Now they're just flying off.
Either we just vanquished the fiend that might have controlled them, or similar to the design, whatever the case, we managed to prevent an attack, or they're going somewhere else.
I think it's fair to say that we destroyed their boss.
Hmm.
Probably no point in attacking the town because there's nothing here for them anymore.
Plus, serpents coming from black water, the very same thing created by that fiend. Yeah, they were related. It's not a
Mhm.
coincidence.
Indeed. Although, as much as I'm not much of a fan of knowing that they're still out there, but hopefully they won't cause any more trouble.
Well, let's get back to the doorway and we can talk in person.
Indeed. We're on our way, so make sure there's no casualties. If there is, I will do the best I can as soon as I arrive.
Understood. Make it snappy. Alright. And so with that, you all hop back aboard the Little Wing. And you begin the flight back to Piera Oasis. It is getting on towards sunset as you're pulling back in towards one of the airship docking towers, and you can see that there are very clear signs of recent chaos in the city, even before you dock. You can see that there's a lot more foot traffic than you would expect, even at the late hours. People are sort of moving around, trying to tidy things up. You can see damage in several of the buildings, and you can even see some bodies here and there.
Ah, shit. Looks like we're unable to save everyone. Although, I'd be happy to help any who are injured or ill.
About the fiend, the city itself is safe. Focus on that.
Makes you wonder where the damn thing was hiding. Well,
I would presume the ocean.
Yes,
If it's
and the ocean...
if it's a water-based fiend that was designed to go after Leviathan, then maybe it could just jump from body of water to body of water. That would explain
Yep.
how it got inside of Leviathan's chamber. It was completely isolated until we opened the way to get in with for our audience. then it just appeared from the pool in the back. And I don't think that pool connects to the ocean. It would be too easy to get in that way.
Maybe. Still,
That's true.
matters little now.
So again, just waiting for us to do all the work for them. Very
but
strong.
If you
Well,
think about it,
If you could just teleport into bodies of water, then the door
Yeah.
didn't matter. We really just beat it by moments.
Maybe.
I mean, think about it like this: if a creature is capable to go all about the world, since most of the world's composed of water, yeah, I hate to think what else could be worse than that.
Alright, I'm bringing us in. Let's ask Sid for answers. Speculating only gets us so far.
Plus, it looks like I have a bit of work to do myself. So much for rest. I have a job to do.
All right.
I think you should use some rest, Alistair. You're not
No.
exactly looking fit and healthy.
No, I'd be fine. I'd take a potion for myself and help anyone in need.
Mika puts a hand
Paladins
on your
are
back.
no slouch.
Mika puts a hand on your back, Alistair. Alistair, take it from someone who knows. You're a great medical guy, but you are a terrible patient. As someone who's had to treat your wounds before, I know.
Yeah, I guess I get my stubbornness from my father.
You won't be any good to anyone if you collapse from exhaustion.
Fair enough. But if anyone does need any help, I will help them. I will take your advice and rest for now.
We have items we can dish out. Don't overtax yourself.
Besides, I'm sure Pyrosis has its own medical professionals.
True.
We're already buzzing all over the place after that.
I just hope that they have many confident individuals that know what they're doing. And like the last time.
Not everything in the world rests on our shoulders.
All right, so you
That
bring-
may be true, but how the heck could you not click an arm back in place properly?
I think the DM's trying to move things along.
Sorry.
All right, so you bring the little wing down, and after a couple minutes, you manage to get it connected to the docking platform and hooked up. And as you step down, you are greeted by Nabat and Sid.
Nabat, Sid, what's the situation?
A lot calmer now. Elizabeth is out trying to keep the peace, keep everyone assured. What the hell happened?
Well, we got it, but shortly after this thing, another fiend, creepiest one yet, just kind of emerged from the pool. We fought it, killed it with a bit of help from Lord Ramu. And when we did, that's when your troubles are treated.
The fighting had been going on for about 30 minutes before the serpents withdrew.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was a really tough fiend this time around.
I
We
can
weren't
only-
fighting it for quite that long. The attack probably started around about when we were attempting access into the Crystal Spire.
Still, it was a durable son of a bitch.
The serpents were tough. We could dispel them for a time, but they often reformed with all of the water all over the place from these blue crystals. They were practically innumerable.
Ugh.
A lot of
Without
people
their-
got
Right,
hurt.
and
Uh,
an army that can regenerate. And I thought things couldn't get any worse.
If they were extensions of the Fiend, but without him, I don't think you have any more trouble with them.
That's good. It was very chaotic when it was all happening. And that is
Okay.
not good for us.
No?
More than just the obvious, Nabat points out, of people getting hurt, chaos is essentially what darkness is made of. So, if the fiends want to increase their own power, cause chaos. This attack was very hectic.
Maybe that was why the attack happened when it did. It was trying to boost its own power to fight us.
Perhaps. Either way, even with that fiend dead, that brief spike will no doubt feed back into Diabolos.
Well,
And he's actively trying to marshal more strength whenever he reforms then.
I imagine that's going on all across the Eno continent. Can't be everywhere. Demons have been said to be more active as of late.
Right.
Well, the mayor, is he arrive?
Just about everyone of importance, in high-ranking positions, was able to avoid getting hurt. They have bodyguards. They kept them safe. It's the civilian population that really took the brunt of the damage before the guard could rally. By the time a proper defense was actually being put together is when the creatures started leaving.
You would think after we warned him of what was to come, you would have mounted a better defense.
With all due respect, Thanatos, it is insanely difficult to predict that dangerous serpents are just going to emerge from rock around you. Especially that quickly and in so many numbers. He couldn't have prepared for that.
Well, we best inform him of our success and assure him of this city's safety from here on out, if nothing else. After that, we're going to immediately head out towards the Inner Mountains, reunite my mother. We also spoke to Leviathan. Your next destination, searching for Shiva's crystal, just near Anomo. Leviathan claims that the ice landmass that it's on shifts, but she's going to have Shiva hold it steady until we arrive.
Alright. So our objective is to head to Anomo and assist with the search effort then?
Yeah. Hopefully, by the time we reach you, we won't have to blindly wander the northern oceans.
Alright. Elizabeth nods towards said, or not Elizabeth, Jinri rather. I'll go find Elizabeth. You should get the Stargazer ready for liftoff. And she immediately starts walking off. Just kind of eyes the back of her head, then shrugs. Yes, ma'am.
Ah, I thought you were the captain of the Stargazer.
I am. He sort of crosses his arms and glares after her. But she isn't wrong.
Never. There was a time you never thought you'd be taking commands from the assistant director of Devia Corp.
I'm not taking commands from her. She just made a good suggestion. Shut up, phone.
I'm sure she sees it that way. Still. Is she good to fly? She didn't get damaged in the attack?
Thankfully, no. It doesn't seem like the serpents had any particular objective or goal other than just
Chaos.
cause mayhem.
Certainly.
So they broke a lot of shit. Yeah, he points and you can see that there's like, in one of the market squares, you see that there's a statue that had been erected there of some Gaul command proudly hoisting up a banner that got crumbled into bits and fell over onto a nearby building, crushing it in. So largely, it was just a lot of hurting people and causing collateral damage without any rhyme or reason.
Alright. Well. Hopefully things in Anomo are a bit more stable and they have some answers ready for you.
And it would be nice. Anomo is probably one of the most well-defended places in the world, though. Between all the magic they have in their isolated position.
I'm also to understand Mistress Shantoto can cast Ultima.
Only person known who can, yep. It's the most difficult black magic spell to learn, and with good reason. I've never seen it in action, and I don't want to. If someone casts it and loses control, well, let's just say it would make the destruction of Marasu look like a spark in a frying pan.
If there is an ice fiend, maybe we should just throw her at it.
I'd rather there still be an Eno Watch mountain range.
Well, I doubt she's near Eno Watch.
Seriously, Ultima is feared as much as it is for a reason. Blow up continents with that shit if you're not careful.
I'll consider that a last resort then.
Yeah.
Either way, the rest of you, if anyone needs some rest, head to the little wing. Make sure she's ready to go. That will be long.
It'll do.
Yep.
All right.
Have fun with Mr. Mayor.
Mika, you with me on this?
Yeah,
I imagine you'd want to speak to him.
not really, no.
Ow. Seems we're doing it anyway. Come on.
Yeah, you two can play politics. I am going to find a nice soft spot and just crash.
So much for getting the ship ready.
Kyra just gives you a thumbs up. Don't worry, I'll take care of it for this lazy bum.
Lazy.
The puppy needs to sleep.
Yeah, I suppose it just goes to show that the women have more endurance.
Kyra walks over to you, Thanatos, and just kind of pats you on the shoulder before saying, more quietly, in all seriousness, no, you do need your rest. Summoning Ramu like that looked exhausting. Let me handle the airship.
He softens a little, but still looks quite perturbed at the little interaction.
He just kind of pats you on the shoulder, then bumps you with her hip and moves on to the airship.
Alright, so Kyra's keeping the little wing ready to go. Alistair and Thanatos are crashing because ouch.
Yep.
And me and Mika are off to fill in the mayor.
Yep. Well, I need to remind myself who the fuck he is. It's been a couple weeks since he was on screen. I need to remind myself of him.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, you make your way back through the streets, working your way through, and it is very visible that there was recent chaos here. You can see that there are a lot of people moving about quickly to try and clear out rubble or make space. You can see that there are little triage centers that have been set up and otherwise empty or broken down homes where wounded are being tended to. You can see that sort of off to the sides and shaded areas as the sun is going down, unmoving bodies have been moved. There aren't very many, thankfully, but enough to be alarming and deeply concerning. Eventually, you come to the governmental building you were at before, and you can see that there is a lot of activity outside of it. The people who work within, the mayor and the various council members who help manage the city, are already outside discussing various things with other individuals as people are coming and going in this never-ending throng of movement. And you can see the mayor, Bakrin, talking to a few others.
Mayor Bakrin.
He waves away the people he was talking to and turns to you. Ah, our guests. I don't suppose you would have any idea of what the hell just happened to my city, would you?
I'm afraid we would. When we arrived at the Crystal Spire, there was one of the creatures we warned you about, the Fiend. One was there after the crystal. It caused the nightmares last night. It attacks your town with its minions, extensions of itself, very certain. It was feeding off the chaos. When we slew it, the attack ended. And we have it.
He sort of folds his hands behind his back and looks out over his city. You know, Pierre Oasis has withstood countless sieges over its long life. Mostly from warring Bonga tribes. Before the Galka and Bonga got integrated with all the other races on this continent, we were at each other's throats all the time. They never actually managed to get through the walls, though. We always repelled them. This is the first time anything has attacked this city, and was inside the walls. The first time the civilians were actually attacked in the streets.
Demons seldom play by our rules.
Perhaps not, but they usually still have rules that we can predict. This... Tell me this. Was it worth it?
Me looks at Mika.
I wish I could say yes right now, but it will be. We have the crystal and they can't break it now. Not without going through us first. That means we're one step closer to putting a stop to all of this. But it isn't stopped
Well-
yet, so... People are still in
There-
danger either way.
We have 4 stops remaining, and the last is the Tower Creation itself. I'm not sure what's going to happen when we get there, but hopefully, an end.
Well, then I shouldn't keep you.
We'll bring it back when all is done.
You'd better.
I know I need to. Otherwise, where are we going to get water in parentheses?
You should get a move on. I have a lot of work to do.
Good luck.
Yeah. You too.
Hey, I
Wander
guess
off.
we're off. Back to Vitae.
Indeed. Give me just a second. I am updating the crystal list. 6 crystals accounted for.
On the way, do you think we guys, do you think we should make a stop in Vitae itself? Because one, the little one could still use some repairs, and I know they'll do it for free because it's one of their ships. And also, we could use some more supplies. I doubt we'll get some here because, you know, I don't think shops are open.
Indeed. Also, I love how the crystal says water, light water equals sad. Why is it
Oops,
sad?
that was supposed to be safe. My bad. I'm sorry, that was just like everything I try to make everything I ever write, just kind of peeling through. A bit of a Freudian slip there.
Oh well.
But yeah, we start heading towards the Eno Mountains, where Panara to be. On the way, we stop at Vitae for repairs and resupply.
Also, we got Destiny for the Fiend and the Crystal, right?
Yeah, give me just a second. I'm doing a couple things here. Doing some measurements.
So I need to remake the Destiny I lost for that bullshit.
You were really hoping to do the big Black Storm sharp shot attack.
I mean, I was leaving it for really if things were getting more desperate, but I'm just annoyed I had to use 3 Destiny just to avoid being enthralled.
Yeah.
2 and a 1 before I got that 6. Bastard.
Also, do we level up this time?
Yes, we'll handle that between sessions. Now give me just a moment so I can go and double check what all you get for defeating Lithulian. Because you do get stuff for that.
Stuff.
There's an entire extra enemy that never got spawned during that fight.
Really?
Yeah,
Bad.
Lethulian could have spawned some of those dark water things itself. Depth Reapers, they're called. But never actually got the chance. It could have summoned up to 2 to help it, but things were going in a way that it didn't really get a chance to do so. At first, it didn't think it needed the help, and then it didn't have a safe window to spawn the help. Alright, come on, Lethulian sheet. Open up. Also, darkness has been muted for a while. Just noticed. Wait, can you get...
Yeah, there's a bit of background noise, sorry for that.
Oh, there you are.
That was on
I
the
couldn't
ship.
hear you guys there for a second, then suddenly everyone just spoke at once. Lethulian's sheet is taking a lot longer than I would like to load. Damn it. Load! I'm pretty sure... Yeah, I deleted this token from the map, so I have to open the original ODT, so... That's gonna take a minute. We'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, so... Nee and Mika return to the Little Wing. And everything's cut out for me again. God damn it. Shit. I accidentally X'd out the frickin' watch together room in the calendar. God damn it. Everything is slow for no reason. Stop being slow. I don't want free sound. I want watch together, you bitches.
Yeah, we got through the fight.
Mostly.
Ah. Like you guys, suddenly I hear everything you guys said all at once, and then you go back to being silent. Like right now, I heard a burst of sound, and now you're all quiet again. God damn it. Motherfucker, why? See, I'm experiencing one of my routine slowdowns, but I can't restart my computer the fast way that solves it because we're in the middle of the session. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
Where exactly were you going to stop us?
Pretty soon, honestly. Like, I was going to stop it as you guys were flying away. So.
Honestly,
like a ride into the sunset scene, but denied because issues.
Kind of.
Correct.
So, and it's also getting painful to hold my phone up to the microphone so my microphone can actually pick up what you guys are saying. It's making my arms hurt. So yeah, let's.
Oh, that's great quality.
Oh, it's absolutely not. I don't even know if you guys are actually like, if the microphone is actually picking up what you guys are saying properly, or if it's just mush. But either way, due to these technical difficulties, we're gonna have to cut this session short, unfortunately. But everyone gets a level up. We'll deal with that in the interim between sessions. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for tuning in to this episode of Final Fantasy Chronicles of Eno, and we will see you next time. Until then, keep listening, people. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
This is not the way I wanted this session to end, but fuck it, needs must. Ay. Ay, 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 ay.